Welcome back to Mastering Magento. In the last section, you learned how to set up your server and install Magento. This video will introduce you to the development tools that will be used throughout the rest of this series. I will be using Sublime Text as my editor of choice. Unlike other IDEs, Sublime is lightweight and super fast. It supports many plugins that provide features comparable to IDEs like Zen Studio and Eclipse PDT. You can download Sublime Text 2 from their website, or if you're running Ubuntu, you can install it from a PPA that you can find on the webupdate.org site. Out of the box, Sublime provides some helpful features for navigating the Magento codebase. Let's take a look. In my Sublime editor, you can see that I've created a Magento project which contains the document root folder. I can use Sublime's GoToAnything feature to quickly open files. For instance, let's say that I want to open the Mage Sales Model order. I can start typing Mage Sales Model, and you can see I've already shortcutted through a lot of directories. I can scroll to the proper model I want and open it. Or if I want to jump right to a specific function, I can use the @ sign and start typing my function name. This functionality is super helpful, especially when traversing the deep object hierarchy of Magento. Earlier I mentioned that Sublime supports a variety of plugins. Those are pretty easy to set up. You can find directions online. You search for Sublime Package Control. Your first hit is what you want. The installation is simple. You merely need to copy this snippet of code into the Sublime console. Once you have Sublime Package Control installed, you can access it by pressing Ctrl, Shift, and P at the same time in Sublime. This brings up your menu. Through here, you can install a variety of packages. One of the most useful packages I find when developing Magento is the ctags plugin. The ctags plugin indexes all of your class definitions and function definitions so that you can easily jump to them throughout the editor. You need to first rebuild the tags on your project, and this may take a while. So that only took about a minute to index all of my function names and class definitions in the whole Magento codebase. At this point, I can now highlight pretty much any snippet of text, and then right-click it and select Navigate to Definition. If there's multiple definitions for this snippet of text, Sublime will give me an option to choose one. I can see easily which components in Magento these belong to. In this case, I want to go to the first one, in the sales order, and it takes me right to the line where that function is created. There's also a few options that can be configured in Magento to make development a bit easier. For instance, you can enable developer mode in order to view more verbose error messages on the screen. You would do this in your web server configuration, so if you're running Apache, you could do it right in your htaccess file. But since we're using Nginx in these videos, I would edit it in my Etsy Nginx virtual host. You can see at the bottom of my file, I've already got the Mage Developer Mode Fast CGI parameter commented out. If I want Developer Mode on, I simply need to uncomment this line, save my configuration, and restart my web server. You can also make some changes in the Magento backend to the system configuration. When you log into the admin, go to System Configuration. Then scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page where you see the Advanced section. Click on the Developer link and then expand the Log Settings field set. Here we can enable logging to give us more information about errors that occur in the system. On a final note, You can also find a lot of useful extensions available on Magento Connect. There's even an entire category devoted to developer tools. In this video, you were introduced to the Sublime Text Editor and how it can be used as a lightning-fast editing platform for Magento. You were also introduced to a few Magento configuration settings that assist developers. Lastly, you learned that Magento Connect hosts a variety of third-party extensions that make it easier to debug and investigate Magento functionality. In the next video, we will start putting these tools to work by creating our first Magento module, so stay tuned.